up, everybody, and welcome to Not Your Grandfather's Vlog. About 2 years ago, the second vlog I ever made under my vlog series, Not Your Grandfather's Vlog series, was living with your parents at 27. It is by far my most popular vlog I've made to date, and I've had a lot of people comment on the video, most saying, I'm right there with you, man, you know, I wish I could move out of my parents' house too. And then I had some other douchebags who said I was too afraid to move out and leave the nest, which I knew making that video that I would get people that were going to say shit like that. But I've had quite a few people who watch this channel. They've seen that I have moved out on my own. Times have changed, and since March of 2017, I now live in my own 3-bedroom house by myself. A lot of people have asked me, how did I manage to do that? So I figured for this episode I would explain how I managed to move out of my parents' house. First things first, I moved back in with my parents when I was 25 years old out of necessity. I did not want to move back in with my parents, but the landlords that me and my former roommate were renting from decided to sell the house that we were living in and gave us 1 month to move out. So moving back in with my parents was an unfortunate no-brainer. And by the way, I do have notes for this vlog because there's some financial shit and just stuff I wrote down that I didn't feel like memorizing, and I wanted to get it right. I wanted to get this information right, so excuse me, I'm going to be reading off notes for this one. I had just started doing karaoke DJing when I moved back with my parents. I only had 1 gig a week every Saturday, and it paid $119. At the time, I was also working at CVS Pharmacy, but only 2 days a week, like 6 hours each day. So I was probably making like $140, I don't know, maybe every 2 weeks. Dude, it was pathetic. It was pitiful. CVS is an awful company to work for. I'll save that for another vlog. So as I kept living with my parents over the next 2 years, I not only went from 1 karaoke gig a week to 5 karaoke gigs a week, I had also taken the opportunity to work with yet another entertainment company that focused more exclusively on weddings. So I'm doing karaoke, DJing or trivia 5 days a week now, and occasionally I'll do a wedding, which for those of you who don't know, they pay really well. So over a span of about 2 years, I nearly quadrupled my monthly income. So that was an important step for me personally to move out. So my first tip to you is any opportunity that you can get to get a more gainfully employed job, that's my first tip. Basically, get a job that pays more money, do whatever you can to get more money. Pretty basic tip, but it is the most important tip, but not the only tip. The second important thing I did while living with my parents was pay off all my credit card debt. While living with my first roommate, I spent money like a dumbass, and I put it all on my credit card. I figured, hey, I don't have the money now, and I really want this thing, so why don't I just put it on my credit card and then I'll just chip away at the monthly payments. But I didn't realize the interest rate that they were tacking on every month, so I was really just fucking myself over and over every month. On top of giving myself yet another bill, because if you don't have credit card debt, that's yet another bill you don't have to worry about. So my second tip to you would be, while living at home, pay off any bills you can. And for me, paying off my credit card bill left me open to take on new bills that you're going to have to deal with when you live on your own, like internet and utilities. My third tip to you would be to map out a budget. I took my monthly income and I made a list of all the bills I would most likely have to pay, and I just crunched the numbers. Like, for instance, for me, I have car insurance, car payment, rent, cell phone bill, student loan bill every month, health insurance, internet, Amazon Prime, Spotify Premium, I need that for my DJing, utilities like your electric bill and all that other kind of crap, and then food. That's a lot of shit. And I mean, if you don't know how much something will be, like how much a bill is going to be, like how am I supposed to know how much internet's going to be? I don't pay the internet. My parents pay that. You can go on these companies' websites and you can look up what the plans are, what the packages are, or you could even call them and say, hey, what would be a basic internet package for a single household, you know, if I was just living on my own, you know, whatever. You can, for even living on my own here, my utility bill is usually about, it averages out to be about $110 a month. That's just for one person. Now, I probably use a lot more power than most people because I make these videos and I have these ginormous lights that you can't see and various other shit. And I live in Florida and it's hot as balls right now, so that's another consideration if you live in areas where there's extreme temperatures. For me personally, I wanted to have at least $200 to $300 left over after I paid off all my bills. That may sound like a lot to most of you, but that's what I felt like I personally needed to have left over as a buffer to feel comfortable living on my own. I was not going to go back to living paycheck to paycheck like what I did the first time I moved out. That leads to you using your credit card unwisely, trust me, because that's what I used to do. My fourth and final tip is if you can't move out on your own after crunching the numbers, consider getting a roommate. I lived with one for 2 years and it was awesome. We were good friends before we ever moved in together, so I knew that I had spent enough time with him to kind of get a good sense of his personality and how he would be to live with. And we had a lot of fun living together, and it was a lot cheaper than my situation that I'm in now. But man, I gotta tell you, there's nothing better than living completely on your own with no roommates. That is fantastic. If you can get over the occasional paranoia and loneliness here and there, then you'll be good. But you know what? I got lonely living with a roommate too, so the loneliness, I mean, I guess that's on you really. I'm just a lonely fuck sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I love living by myself. It's not for everybody, but I personally love it. So that's pretty much all there is to it. At the end of the day, cash is king. It really does boil down to money. If your finances are in order and you aren't a complete idiot when it comes to your spending, you should be fine. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about my processes or any other strategies or anything, I am no financial guru by any means, but yeah, comment them below and I will definitely answer them because my channel is small enough to where I have the time to answer all 4 comments under my videos. So thank you for inquiring about this, whoever has been asking, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night.